It is a stereotype that Italians dress well all of the time. Can you talk about Italian fashion as part of the culture of Italy?
Italian fashion and Italian design. I think they both go together because we are the country of Ferrari, of Lamborghini, of Vespa. The myth of Vespa in the 50s still has an echo today. It's a way of living. I think our country is blessed because we have a lot of heritage, a lot of tradition in tailoring, but it goes from jeans to shoes, to shirts, ties, as we were saying. So I think the whole country is being brought up with the culture of beauty and product made also with the heart. Of course, we have bigger production, but we have a lot of local tailors, a lot of local ladies that produce shirts. And this is bespoke shops that make shoes made to measure. So we breathe it in the air. It's part of our culture, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our future.
This is Italian for Sure, the podcast about Italian culture. I'm your host, Catrin Skaperdas, an American living in Italy. And I interview Italians who passionately share their wisdom, stories, and insights about Italian culture. Welcome to Italian for Sure, Niccolò.
Hi, Catrin. It's great to have you here in Florence with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me at the Stefano Ricci headquarters. I was wondering if you could start by introducing yourself.
So my name is Niccolò Ricci. I'm 47 years old, and I'm the CEO of the Stefano Ricci company, which was founded by my parents, Claudia and Stefano, in 1972. So we are here today at our headquarters, and I would like to share with you some vision on Made in Italy and what it's all about for us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to hear more about your story and your family's start in this industry. Now, your family, are they from Tuscany? Are you from Tuscany?
We are all born and raised, of course, in Tuscany and, of course, in Florence. We usually say that we like to go around the world with the Italian flag on our shoulders and the lily of Florence on our heart. So we like to represent our country wherever we go, and we are very proud about it.
I love that. Most Italians tend to be very proud about where they're from. It's a common theme.
Well, for me, being from Florence makes my life much easier.
Oh, really? Why do you say that?
I say that because for me, maybe the most beautiful city in the world.
It is a very, very beautiful city. So the company, I know that it got started with ties. I'd love to hear the origin story.
My father in 1971, he was a collector of ties. He loved Hermes ties. And in 1972, he has this vision to take inspiration from the ceilings of the Renaissance Palace in Florence and make his first tie collection. As a young guy, he was around 20 years old, and with my mom, of course, supporting him. They started their first tie collection. They show it at Pitti Immagine, which back in the days like Pitti Uomo, which is the most important fair for men in the world. And from there, they had a great success with all international buyers. This, I think, was the key for them to start their business and to be recognized around the world. I think ties is it's a simple accessory, but if you look at it, it's like there's a lot of research in the fabrics, a lot of research in how to make it soft, how to make it that can last in a long time. And I think it was the start of a long path, because for many years it was just ties, then was leather goods. And then in early 2000, when we start to present the full collection of Stefano Ricci clothing.
Wow. Ties are really interesting to me because being from a different country, I had only ever heard of, let me teach you how to tie a tie. That's what you see in the Hollywood movies. There's this one way to tie a tie. I want to start there because this is something I experienced with my husband, who's Italian. My family, we went to a wedding. It was the first time that they had seen him in a tie. And my father actually asked him to be kind and said, oh, would you like me to teach you how to tie a tie? Because his tie was had a different knot than the one that my father used, which I think in America, the triangle is the
half knot, the full knot. Two way of making a tie, right? More the classic way, the one we do in Italy, where the knot is a bit bigger, because the half knot is like making the triangle, and it squeezed too much. I think the ties in the bottom. But at the end of the day, whatever make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, of course.
Like even when you select a tie, most probably is about also the weather and your mood. Maybe you wear a brighter color if it's a sunny day or if you are happy. A darker color if it's winter, it's cloudy, and maybe you're not in such a great mood.
It's a way to express yourself. I love that.
Yeah.
So in Italy, is it more common to do that looser style knot in the tie rather than the tighter knot that you might see in the US?
It depends. I would say that the half knot, the one that goes in and then goes inside the tie, and it's the easier one, I think, is what in Italy is used the most.
It's more common.
Yes.
The other thing is that with ties, I had never seen the knit ties, which are a square at the bottom with a kind of a line. And I've only ever seen
They're very elegant. I like them a lot. Knitted ties with the yes, very.
I agree. It's the one my husband wore to our wedding as well, and he loves those. That's the only ones he likes to wear.
It was very popular, like in the 60s, the 70s,
Yeah.
the 80s. Then was out of fashion. Then recently, we also brought it back in our collection to have some of those. Yes, knitted, like amazing.
Yeah, they are. They're really great. So in one of our previous conversations, you had brought up the show Suits, and I want to talk about that. So this idea that Italian fashion and the way that Italian men dress, especially when it comes to wearing suits, wearing ties, wearing nice shirts, what's the change you might be seeing across the world, maybe from Italian fashion that's kind of influenced other areas of the world, maybe the US, when it comes to men's fashion?
Well, first of all, I think we come out from a 5, 6, 7 years trend of jumpsuit, sneakers, loose t-shirts, and finally after COVID, I would say 2022, we see a big comeback of tailored jackets, tailored shirts, and finally see a lot of suits. I think it makes you feel very comfortable in the morning when you wear a nice suit and you can match a striped shirt, maybe a solid tie. I think office, when you go to an office, it deserves to wear a jacket, like tailored or even off the rack, but fits you well. I think in the environment we are today, the fact that many companies and a lot of workers decide in the office to wear super casual, I don't know. I think it might be time to dress back properly, having a proper attire wherever you go, even for restaurants, even for dinner. If you go out on a date, if you go on a business appointment, I think it would be the right time to wear again a made-to-measure jacket, or even if it's not tailored, but like a nice fitting jacket. Speaking
as a woman, I enjoy men who dress nicely. I liked seeing that my husband dresses nicely, dresses well. It is a stereotype that Italians dress well all of the time. Can you talk about Italian fashion as part of the culture of Italy?
Italian fashion and Italian design. I think they both go together because we are the country of Ferrari, of Lamborghini, of Vespa. The myth of Vespa in the 50s still has an echo today. It's a way of living. I think our country is blessed because we have a lot of heritage, a lot of tradition in tailoring, but it goes from jeans to shoes, to shirts, ties, as we were saying. So I think the whole country is being brought up with the culture of beauty and product made also with the heart. Of course, we have bigger production, but we have a lot of local tailors, a lot of local ladies that produce shirts. And this is bespoke shops that make shoes made to measure. So we breathe it in the air. It's part of our culture, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our future. Then, we can go when everybody talk about sustainability. I believe beside whatever we can do to reduce the impact that our industry has into nature, I think that is extremely important to talk about creating and teaching the new generation how to enter in this world. For example, here where we are, we have 100,000 square feet of facility. We have different production sites, and the older workers, the older artisans are teaching in-house to the new generation. Normally it takes 2 years, 3 years before we have somebody that can really enter in production and helping us to make the suits. We go from jewelry, so we teach the younger guys how to cast and set diamonds. We teach them how to make shirts, how to make leather goods, how to cut the skins. And this is a process that we are very fond of. We really believe that this is the part of the future, and this will help the Made in Italy to move on. So it's not just a way of saying, it's not just a label. There is a lot behind it of passion, efforts, investments, vision, and this is really what we are proud to bring all over the world, because the people that make this product, especially for the Stefano Ricci company, are really proud that super important businessmen around the world are wearing our things, and they can see their product made here in Fiesole, in Firenze, in the most beautiful and elegant and exclusive streets around the world. So this is the way we see it, and like we like to promote Made in Italy around the world.
Your team walked me around your headquarters today, and I got to see everything truly being made by hand, and it was very special. Thank you for giving me that opportunity to see.
Thank you for visiting us.
Of course. I'm so happy to be here. I want to talk to you about a few things you mentioned, the first being made in Italy. In America, we hear that all the time, things made in Italy, and it does have a meaning behind it. It means that it's better, it has higher quality, things that are made in Italy. That's at least what I was brought up being taught when we heard the phrase made in Italy. Unfortunately, I've heard that people are able to use the label made in Italy when it's not always actually produced and made in Italy.
Allora, as far as I talk about our company,
of course, no, it is.
No, it's 100%.
How
we
do
are
you
investing a lot. What I can say is a big battle that our government has been fighting through the years. There are some, I would say, laws that allow some companies or some special categories to be done maybe only 40-50% in Italy, 40-50% abroad. So some laws that the government is trying to change. Of course, some some special areas where some components are made abroad.
So as it relates to Stefano Ricci, what does made in Italy mean to you?
Made in Italy means where we are now. So this is our passion. Wherever, every morning, whenever we are in Florence, we are not traveling for business, is where we come. We support our teams. And you had the chance to have lunch at our cafeteria, where we eat lunch every day with our teams.
It's wonderful. The whole office, the whole headquarters eating together.
We have 300 people that are based here. So it's a mission. I would say it's a mission that, as you know, the workforce in Italy costs a lot. Taxation-wise, of course, it's extremely expensive compared to other countries. So we could also try to go abroad and maybe save money, and then teach these people. But first of all, I think we'll never be able to get the same quality as we get here for the patient. Or maybe it's the air that we breathe, or the water that we drink, or the wine that we drink. I know that helps to make super product. And then I think there is also a sense of community, a sense of belonging to the city. Because as I always say, Florence made our life, in a sense, very easy. Meaning that business-wise, I never met a journalist, a client, or whoever that I invite to visit us in Florence and say no.
Right.
So everybody, a private life also, like people will always come and visit you in Florence. But I assume that, the city gave us so much to us that it's very important for us to give back. So in one sense is to try to hire as much as we can younger generation and try to pass on the heritage of this work that you've seen today while we walk within the facility. It's extremely important for the family.
And speaking of passing on the skills of generation to generation, I've had experiences already just in my 2 years here, more with food, where there's a place that I love, that person that makes the best, in my opinion, the best cannolo, the best farinata, and maybe they pass away or they retire and they haven't passed along their craft to someone else. And I'm so sad because it just feels that that's lost and you can't get that same exact flavor. As you talk about teaching the future generations the craft and the skills it takes to keep the quality of Stefano Ricci alive and this made in Italy here in Florence alive. I'm so happy to hear that. I think it's really important to make sure that these crafts do not
Get
go
lost.
extinct.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I gotta be honest. If you have a special recipe and nobody has been able to pass on to the next generation, it's criminal. Because that should not be legally allowed.
I agree.
That's not
Straight to jail.
straight to jail if you don't pass or if you are not able to get from your grandma the recipe for that specific food. But besides jokes, I think it's in the history of also some bakeries in Florence. While the older generation was selling, in the contract was the recipe of that specific cake, of that specific bread that they were famous about. But this is, as I say, like passing on the heritage is due to the fact that we owe a lot to our city. So with hiring the younger generation, as I said before, but another thing is very important for us has been the giving back actually to the city to things that could make the difference or could help the city to interact better with the tourism. As a matter of fact, we donated the new lighting of the Ponte Vecchio with LED, with dimmers so that the city could highlight during the peak season, and during winter maybe have it a little bit less. This would bring the energy cost saving to the city. We gave a lighting to Loggia de Lanzi, which we donate after we had the honor and the privilege to be the only company that ever had a fashion show inside the Galleria degli Uffizi. Corridoio di Ponente was given to us for the first and last time. And I think this was also given to us for what we have always given and what we have done to the city of Florence. So I think there should be always an exchange. You cannot always only get from your city, but you have to give it back. And multiple occasions we had the chance to invest in our hometown. But it's something it's normal. I think it's normal that a businessman, an entrepreneur should do to the location where he is.
Wow, that's really beautiful. Can you talk about the importance of family and tradition in the Italian fashion industry?
I would say that there is, beside the big brands, where still there are families involved, there's a huge group of companies that maybe are suppliers to the major industry, or they're producing their own brand that are made really with families. You have 1, 2, or even 3 generations running the business. And this is really the backbone of our country. As far as our family, of course, we do have my father, my mother still involved. My mom a little bit less. She's acting like a grandmother, so she's enjoying time with the grandchildren. Then it's me and my brother. Luckily, we find 2 different areas. So I'm the CEO and all the industrial, commercial, financial part that I look after. While he's in the creative, he's a creative director. So all the collections, the extra projects, so whatever is like in real estate with the home collection, the wine, the whiskey, the sunglasses, the perfumes, it's his part. With this team, all the campaign, communication. So we have 2 parallel worlds. Sometimes they merge, sometimes they enjoy, sometimes we fight, but this is typical of the Italian family.
I think of all families. There's always that.
There is a part of like the creativity and the numbers. Sometimes they have to meet. There is always a joke I like to say that I remember a few months ago, my brother came in the office with this beautiful glass, all hand engraved in Florence with a gold paint with this cashmere design. So he came in, he showed me the glass. He said, Filippo, this is the most beautiful glass I've ever seen in my life. I'm happy. So how much it cost? I don't care. Is it the most beautiful glass you've seen? Yes, I don't care. Say, I know, Filippo, then I have to sell it. So let's try to find a compromise. So this is sometimes the daily battle, the creative part with the rational part that try to put in something amazing, but in the market. Luckily, this our brand, our history, and the path through the years, and the loyalty of our customer and the trust they have with us, they let us go always beyond the limits. So once you've been wearing a brand, I think for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, whenever you add the category, they give you the chance.
They trust you.
As far as you're not just selling the brand, but you're selling quality.
And it's important. I see that in a lot of Italian businesses in all different industries. It's something I really love about Italy, that people find a lot of pride in making sure that the thing that they're producing is something they're proud to have their name on.
Sure.
And I've noticed that. I mean, Italian companies often are names, they're family names. And I think having your name on it, you feel a part of it. You want to make sure the thing you're putting out into the world is something that you're proud to say,
Sure.
I produced this. So what are your thoughts on fast fashion?
When we talk about sustainability, what I say it's always try to buy something that lasts longer. Fast fashion, it's cool for the younger generation because it's more affordable. We don't know how much is sustainable because we don't know where it's made. We know, but sometimes you don't know exactly what there is behind, even though there are some companies that are 100% legitimate to do things properly. I mean, it's something that gets to the market on time with extremely attractive look and with a very low price. Of course, it's a mass production because the product can be produced in a very short time and with a very low price. So that's from us. You can wear you can also wear something from fast fashion. You need to adapt to your look. I see today, especially in the younger generation, also ladies, they wear something from this brand from fast fashion. They add on with more important accessories. So maybe the dresses from fast fashion, and then they have a special bags from a French brand or an Italian brand, and they like to mix the two worlds. On the other side, another big trend where we've lived in the last few years, it's quiet luxury.
What is quiet luxury?
Quiet luxury is a new way of presenting luxury, meaning no labels. So you have very, I would say, elegant items with an identity of the brand without exposing or overexposing the brand on the garment. Very earth colors, white, light brown, light green, not too aggressive, like blue, like navy. And it's becoming very popular. There is also the TV series in the US, Succession, which was now the flag that everybody was talking about. This TV series where this extremely wealthy family was wearing some brands that are known for not showing the label, but you can identify them. Because I think today the most difficult thing is to make something that can be recognized even if you don't have a logo.
Right.
So it means that it screams your brand without, and it's against the quiet line, but it tells you the audience, the clients, what it is. Most of these brands, I would say 100% of these brands are produced in Italy.
Quiet luxury brands.
Quiet luxury, I would say the most of it is produced in Italy. And again, because we have this very special and skilled workers, that an artisan that can produce these products.
They can produce products that people know exactly where they're coming from, even without screaming the name of the company.
Exactly.
How does an Italian designer's aesthetic differ from an American's aesthetic?
This is a tricky question. No, I'm kidding. What I can say is that for me, there are two myths in the world of fashion. One is Italian and one is American. The both of them have been able to create a full lifestyle. One is Giorgio Armani, as we say, King Giorgio, and the other one is Ralph Lauren. Both of them in their history, they've been able to create two worlds apart. And this, we admire them a lot. I think US fashion, it looks very, very attractive and very, very elegant also because I think most of it is produced in Italy. So that's my view on American fashion. Great super designer, but also they like to produce here, especially in Florence. I know there's a lot of the American designers that are producing in Florence. So I respect a lot the US designers because they have great taste. Ralph Lauren, for me, is like on a different level because he's been able for many, many years to express himself with his lifestyle that everybody look always with jealousy because it's life of the Hamptons, or it reminds us the American culture from the 60s up to date.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, in my generation, I see the differences just from walking the streets. I mean, I see what people wear in the aesthetics of Italian fashion versus American fashion, but to date. So for example, in America, it's very common to leave the house in athleisure, athletic gear, workout gear. And here it's not common at all. In fact, it's, I think when and if I ever leave the house in athleisure, I'm pretty much saying, hi, I'm American, because
I'm going to the gym already dressed.
Exactly. And nobody goes to the gym already dressed. They go to the gym dressed in their normal clothes, which is always very nice. Then they change in the dressing room. And then afterwards, they even sometimes shower, get ready. And when they leave, they look like they never did a workout there. They look amazing.
It's emblematic. If you go to a gym, you find in the locker there is a hanger for a jacket.
Yeah.
Which means that people, when they get there, they get dressed after work, they count maybe their suit, they count their jacket, and then they do the workout.
It's a unique part of the culture. And it's...
I think it's also, for us, it's our heritage. It's more also a form of respect. So if you go in a restaurant, if you go in a shop, if you go at work, it's a matter of respect for the place, the environment where you work, where the place where you're going to spend lunch. And not saying it's not, but it's in our DNA, in our mind. If you go out, you need to give respect to the place where you are. Of course, if it's Sunday, it's a brunch, you eat outside, or you go in a casual place, you can wear whatever you want, but please always match the color properly. Don't mix up the color, because that is against our religion.
So I've seen that if someone walks into a restaurant and they're wearing a hat, which it's even rare that I see Italians wearing so many hats, especially not baseball caps. But if they are, they definitely take them off.
It's, the hat, you take it out when you for lunch. It's
manners.
It's Italian, Italian manners, word manners. I don't know. It's It's about how people. You cannot impose to everybody, but I think it's normal behavior. At least here, wherever you go,
there is a norm,
and not so many people are wearing hats. I do when for example, on the weekend, if I walk around, I wear a hat. But otherwise, it's not so popular in Italy as I see in the US.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. So, how is Italian fashion integrated into everyday life, would you say?
Italian fashion, and again, Italian design is wherever we walk around. If you are lucky to live in one of the most historical cities of Italy, like Florence, Rome, Milan, Venice, Bologna, Pisa, name it, whenever you walk in the center, you breathe hundreds of years of history. And you see maybe it's sculpture of Michelangelo. Then you go in museums, you see things from Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, it's wherever we go, there is art, there is design, there is things that maybe were made 500, 600, 700 years ago and are still here, and have people from all over the world coming. Beside that, if you go in a restaurant, the food, I think we have one of the best cuisine in the world. You walk in the street and you see people that are wearing, a lot of people wearing elegant things. I mean, it's in our daily life. If you walk around, you can see like all maybe some supercars that drive around, designed and made in Italy. The jewelry is the same. So I think it's part of our life. We live into it. I usually say when friends come to visit me in Florence, I say, guys, try, if you are very late night or a super early morning, try to walk in the center of Florence, like 5 a.m. when there is nobody, and try to walk in the most beautiful squares like Piazza Signoria, Piazza del Duomo. Try to look at the church by yourself. You feel that it's priceless. And this I remember because when I was maybe in college, going out at night, going back at home, and even if I was used to see this every day, I was still thrilled and I was still froze and look at the beauty of this place. So, made in Italy, fashion, design. I think it's all in the system of where we live today.
And I still, after 2 years living here, do the same. I look around and I'm like, wow, with my jaw dropped to the ground every single day. What influence does Stefano Ricci have on global fashion?
Stefano Ricci, as we are not a fashion brand.
How do you define the company?
We are a lifestyle company. For multiple reasons, we do so many different categories that we close 360 degrees in men's life. From watch, furniture,
silverware,
clothing, silverware. So we pretty much can produce everything for men. It's you're not influenced, but we are also adapting, because in our showroom in Milan there are specific. The collection is very wide, because we like to differentiate our offer in different stores, so that the client that travels around the world can buy different things in season. And out of, for example, of a suit, of a jacket, you can have of that fabric maybe 20 suits in the world, 15 suits in the world of that specific fabric. This is the sense of uniqueness that we give to our clientele. But as a matter of fact, we make some special styles, models, design for specific countries. So, for example, the offer that we're going to do in the US is a bit different than the one that we have in Europe, which is different from the one we do in India or in the Middle East. And again, more different than the looks that we provide to Greater China.
How is the look in the US as it compares to Italy?
The look in the US, it depends also on the city. Because if you go New York, and soon we're going to open Washington, it's more formal. So a lot of suits, a lot of shirts, a lot of ties. And then, of course, you go to Beverly Hills, Vegas, and Miami, casual wear, a lot of knitwear, high-end knitwear in silk and cashmere. It depends on the season. And so you have to differentiate according to the clientele of that city. So we have our managers from all over the world that they come to Milan twice a year. They place the selection, and in their mind, I would say at least 50% is already allocated to specific clients that they know that will come and get those specific items. So let's say the collection is huge. The collection is really huge, because every season we propose a lot of different fabrics with different design. You saw downstairs the amount of fabrics that we do have.
Yeah, a lot.
And that is really helping us to reach every single market around the world. So it's more that we don't impose a fashion trend, but we try to meet the needs of our clients around the world.
What are the differences that set apart your offerings in the US and Italy? For example, are suits tighter in Italy? I'm making this up, but...
Before, years ago, yes, not anymore.
Okay, it's the same.
I would say that genetically, the clientele, it's a bit bigger in shoulders and sizes, like people are taller. In the US, I see bigger sizes compared to Europe. Because, then Europe, I would say then 70% of what we sell in Europe is for tourists. So we have to, very difficult, because we have to address the collection in Europe that can work for Asians and Americans and Middle Eastern. So in Europe, we have a little bit of a mix of everything, I gotta say.
Okay. Any advice for, let's say, Americans on fashion in general, how they could be more fashionable, other than, of course, just shopping Stefano Ricci, but in a general sense? Any advice for Americans on fashion, maybe tips from Italian fashion that they could take?
First of all, I think that before wearing something, they should put everything, lay everything on a bed.
Okay.
In the morning, the jacket, the shirt, the tie, maybe dedicate 3 minutes of your time, 5 minutes of your time, and combine the colors.
Okay.
So that is the most fundamental thing. Another thing, I believe that elegant is something that makes you feel comfortable by yourself and comfortable with other people. Because everybody has that outfit. When you go out, you feel comfortable because you see the colors and the shapes and everything is matching. So you got to work more on the preparation of the look, because maybe you have the right items in your closet. You just need to combine them properly.
Okay.
Maybe you're just missing a specific color tie or a specific color shirt, or maybe you need that belt and the brown shoes and the brown belt, or you mix a navy shoes with a navy belt in order to make an harmony of what you're going to wear.
What is one fashion absolute do not do, an absolute fashion no, and what is one best look? Does it make sense?
Yes. Being Italian, first of all, no, it's a white socks.
Okay.
On athleisure, if you wear sneakers and you go, maybe yes.
Okay.
So no. And also the short socks.
No short socks, no white socks.
No white socks, especially no short socks where you see, it's a no. And what we like a lot in Italy means is a sense of elegance or tailorship is the white pocket square. So if you have a white pocket square, I think is an extra touch.
It does look very nice on you right now.
Thank you.
So Niccolò, are there any last thoughts that you'd like to share with us?
something we are very proud is this project that we started a few years ago. It's called Stefano Ricci Explorer, which started with a trip to Luxor. It's actually the 50th anniversary of our company with an amazing fashion show in the Hatshepsut Temple. From there, we brought this timeless traveler to discover the world. So from Iceland, then we went to Galapagos. From there, we went to Mongolia and then to Cambodia. And I think it's been a great way to promote those beautiful countries, explain what they're doing for sustainability, support them with the special project like in Galapagos with the Giant Turtle Project Foundation. So we helped them, the Charles Darwin Foundation. In Mongolia, we helped the Kazakh Falconry Association to the reintroduction of the eagles in Mongolia. Now we just came back from Cambodia with a support to the introduction of the elephant and the plantation of, I think, 20,000 trees. So I think this is the way to promote those countries, sustainability, and our brand, where the collection is there, is present, but it's not fundamental. It's more like about the environment around it, and our collection is a little touch in the picture that shows what we do. Out of all these projects, we've been very proud to work with the legend, which is Steve McCurry, that was with us in Cambodia. And through his lens, we've been able to see this outstanding country and, of course, our collection. So we're very proud to promote the unique destination. Today, I believe that the most precious thing that we have is time. And spending time to visit places that are a bit uncommon from the usual routes, I think it's very important. As a matter of fact, Mongolia today is known by all the millennials as the most desirable country to visit.
By Italian millennials?
No, by worldwide.
In the world?
In the world, exactly.
Wow, now it's on my list.
It was amazing from the Gobi Desert to the Altai Mountains, going to Ulaanbaatar. We had an amazing experience. We had a week. We visited very amazing location, and the photo shooting and the video that, of course, we've done, the reportage, is the summary of our amazing experience.
That sounds incredible. I want to travel to the whole world if I can. Every single corner. We have a beautiful planet, and there's so many more places to explore than what the places we always hear about.
True, so true.
Well, thank you so much for joining Italian for Sure, Niccolò.
It was a great pleasure. Please come back anytime. Florence is here. We've been here for hundreds of years.
You're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere.
Thank you so much.
Again, thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Italian for Sure. If you liked what you heard, make sure to hit the follow button wherever you listen to podcasts, and hit the subscribe button on YouTube. If you want to connect, find me on Instagram and TikTok at Italian for Sure, and let me know what you found most interesting. Until next time.